Everybody always wants to make videos about the things that they like and the things that they see and all these positives and such. But today I want to come up with a video or a discussion which is something that I think is very viable. There are a few things, just as much as we want and just as much as we like all the new things that have been included and so on and so forth. There are just a few things that I personally would like to talk about in this video that I would like for it to not be included or not be done in a certain way for, of course, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And to be honest, a lot of these are going to be either semi-hot takes or hot takes in general, where people will probably have a problem with with what I say in regards to this and that. But anyway, that's why we have discussions and that's why these videos are made. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get right into it. If you like these kind of videos, you already know what to do. Show your love by hitting that TechneeX button and subscribing, coming through here on the channel all day, every day, where we go ahead and talk about FGC videos, playthroughs, and more, of course, here on TechneeX TV. So, one of the things that I do not want back in Sparking Zero is the whole thing with having to go through all the scenarios, all these alternative things, and doing all this extra stuff in order to unlock the characters. We are in a stage or in a generation where we don't have the patience for it, to be honest. And I think that games that do this are the games that are trying to extend their playtime. And at this point, for a game like Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which had so many different characters, but the point of that generation was to spend a lot of time because there was no online gameplay. Nowadays is a whole different story. In Sparking Zero, I honestly do not think that that should be the case. I think that coming into the game, when we go to the versus menu, all the characters should be there. Shouldn't have to go through the needless hassle of having to go from the rattle saga all the way through the Dragon Ball Super Broly saga and then doing the alternative scenarios in order to unlock characters that otherwise are not in those main scenarios and whatnot. I think that it's imperative to understand that we are growing up to still appreciate the Dragon Ball story, and as we've come to terms, of course, with Akira Toriyama's passing, and not only that, with Kakarot being as big and as good as it is, giving us a same take of the Dragon Ball story now enhanced in the Tenkaichi verse and the Sparking Zero verse, especially with these graphics. I think that we are more than welcoming those scenarios, that story, that remake from the developers that are recreating all these events and whatnot with this new game. Going through all these scenarios just to be able to play with, let's say, Vegito Blue, that's a chore. Come on, man. Going through all these scenarios just to be able to play with Jiren, just to be able to play with Dragon Ball Super Broly, it all being tied into the story mode or the survivor mode or wishing on the Dragon Balls. That needs to stop. Like that honestly needs to stop. I think that the number one rule that this particular game should be following is the actual FGC protocol, where you go into the game, you hit battle, and when you hit battle, you have all your characters unlocked. I think that that's one of the biggest things. Now, the second thing that I truly believe that needs to be addressed as well would have to be the challenges. Oh my god, this fucking stage. Why this stage? He's gonna kill me. Oh my god! I'm gonna wrap this mission up quick. The PlayStation 3 era of gaming had these challenges where there was always what you would call a quote-unquote impossible challenge. And I look at Raging Blast 2 as like the scapegoat for this. Having a lot of good things locked behind one of these challenge battles where you're essentially don't have any health and you have to go through 2 characters, 3 characters, 4 characters, 5 characters. That has to just completely fucking go. Those kind of challenges should not even exist in the game, especially because it's just giving you a simulation to basically spam certain things, and then that gets carried over to the online experience where people will be like, this is how I'm going to play the game because it worked generally on the CPU. And an example, I play a lot of Street Fighter 6. So when I play with, let's say, Ed or Ryu, when I see somebody else play Ed or Ryu and I see a certain combo pattern, I know if that combo was picked off from the challenge list or it was something that the person practiced, because a lot of combo routes are similar, but then there's their little nuances that you get where you're like, that's dumb, with a different approach. The case is a lot of the times you're gonna do combinations and things from combo trials and things like that, learning a certain style of play that works in general basis. If you're doing so many, if you're doing so many scenarios that the challenge mode is you have 1 HP, survive 45 seconds. What you're gonna do is you're gonna figure out the timing of people flying into you or doing things like that, and you're gonna learn how to do spammy shit. So ultimately, that does carry over. And again, this is a hot take, but I think that is a very perceivable hot take because I see it in Street Fighter. They carry that over to the online battles, and generally you can get a good read off of them because you already know what they're coming with. But in a game that's a 3D open arena game, the biggest pitfalls of open arena games is when you show the consumer the tools that they need to use in order to just use one neuron in the entire match. Ultimately, that leads to a lot of things. If you notice, that happened in Jump Force. That has happened in Ultimate Ninja Storm. That has happened in Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and Raging Blast 2 and Xenoverse, where they all do snap, vanish, hit cancel, snap, etc. Every game develops a meta, and a lot of these 3D games always develop a meta that's staler than stale bread because it's a meta where it keeps you on the other side of the screen while they're just either hitting you with long range attacks, forcing you to eat hits in order for you to get one hit in, or you basically playing this wait and bake game on a 3D spectrum, which it's almost impossible. Let's put it like that. It's almost impossible. I really think that as far as challenges goes, this is something that should be removed. Those challenges where you have 1 HP and it forces you or shows you how to spam a certain character's move sets and whatnot in order to be able to come out on top. They're not exciting. They're not fun. They're more frustrating than anything else. And genuinely just, again, takes away from the experience of the consumer and of the player who otherwise would like to do something that, will be more of a challenge. Maybe fight 6 folks with 1 bar and they're all on extremely hard and they're, attacking and 2 of them at a time or something like that, and you try to figure that out like in Xenoverse 1K, 2 versus 1 because I'm that strong. Facts. Give me what you got. The last thing I think Spark and Zero should not include And this will be very, very, very hot take, is a floating tournament stage. Every iteration of the World Tournament, except for the Budokai series, if you got knocked out of the stage area, you will float over the ground until you get knocked out. If you fight in a tournament stage, I think that it should have very similar rules to Kakarot, and I believe wholeheartedly that it shouldn't follow the same transcript that we've usually had, where floating in the out of bounds area or hitting the wall and it's not considered an out of bounds. I think that, like Kakarot did, if you get to a certain health bar or health condition, then the character, by hitting you with a strong attack like a super attack or an ultimate or a super melee or something like that, that can knock you out of the stage, for example. But at the beginning of the stage, when you have full bars or you're in green or anything like that, I don't think that you should be knocked out of the stage around then. But at the same time, I do firmly believe that they should not just have us floating around the stage until we get knocked out. Ring out should exist. People want to host a tournament or something like that, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, I mean, we really, it just, you can pick any stage. And I'm like, no, what if I want to play in the World Tournament stage and I want the ring out effect? I would love that shit. None of the prior games do it anymore, and it's an unfortunate thing. So looking into that, I just truly believe that it should not do that. They should allow us to fall out of bounds after a certain amount of health. We should be able to get knocked out of bounds. Honestly, that will make the World Tournament stages that have like a ring and things like that more challenging, I say, or different than just your typical stage. Copy paste of just different, boulders and city blocks and things just being just put together. I would like everything to mean something in a way. And this game already talks so much about the landscape itself, how big the game is going to be, the world, etc. Like when you're fighting, you have so much area that you can fly off to, so much area that you can, work in, that I truly believe that, like the tournament stage, for example, you're going to start in the ring and you're going to be able to fly all the way up to a point where you're outside of the tournament stage area and you're in the sky kind of thing. So if you get knocked out from up there or something like that, it's like that Goku versus Tien kind of moment kind of thing. But I think that if they include ring outs, then things like the atmosphere would make sense. Like, for example, flying planes, if you're including assets flying around and things like that in real time in the city because of the tournament. So if you touch any of those assets flying around while you're flying or whatever, it counts as ring out. It would be a nice staple to return to norm and include the ring out feature. I don't think that this game should be like it was before where it wasn't included. That's the honest truth. I think that returning is going to make it a little bit more fun playing in the tournament grounds. So in review, those are the things that I believe shouldn't come back to Sparking Zero, to be honest. I don't think, like I said, the three things were, I don't think that you should have to go and unlock every single character by doing the story mode or survivor mode or tournament modes, etc. I think all those characters should come unlocked immediately off the bat, so that way we don't have to worry about that. The second thing is the challenge modes should eliminate those challenges where you're at one health. That truly only leans into making players play a certain style, and that generally can translate online, and you can have a lot of people start just basically spamming. The third and final point would be the no ring out. We don't want that. We want ring outs this time. We want that to be a feature, but closely observed feature that makes the stage worth it. So it's kind of like incorporating the stage into the battle, and that's something that I think that in this generation should be easy to do, easy to implement, especially that Kakarot did it via the health bar. If you're close to the edge and you're to yellow or you're red, if they hit you with a combo or with a special hit or an ultimate or something like that, it knocks you out of the ring. If you're flying over the ring and you get knocked down downwards with low health. It could also count as a ring out if you don't tap the buttons fast enough to recover, things like that of the sort. Makes perfect sense, and truly honest, would enhance the experience. Now, if you agree with me, don't agree with me, have an opinion, let me know in the comment section. Talk to me. We are here every day talking about Sparking Zero, and of course anything that's FGC related here on the channel. Catch me live over on Twitch every Wednesdays and Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays as well, where we go ahead and we talk a little bit about all this, and of course we play Street Fighter, Tekken, all sorts of things live. Holla at your boy, TechneeX.